Hi, today I want to Praveen Mohan calmly. Praveen Mohan is another YouTuber that talks about ancient structures and artifacts in his channel and then tries to make them even more exciting by talking about how those things are more than what they seem and that our ancestors had tapped into so much advanced science. He is the same guy I debunked once in my old video about the fake Baghdad batteries. He even has a mini bio on IMDb website. Praveen Mohan is known for his groundbreaking research on ancient history, archaeology, and extraterrestrial theory. He recently discovered India's oldest sundial. Really? Let's look at that video.
Let me show you a short clip of a tour guide figuring out the time, and then I will explain how the sundial works.
Oh, the tour guide already knows it's a sundial. He didn't discover it. Did he write his own biography here? Praveen began exploring ancient mounds of America. He has argued that since the mounds can be understood from air, they must have been made for extraterrestrials. I haven't started the video yet and he's bombarding me with bullshit. I mean, it's always fine to allow your mind to wonder about what could be and ask questions to find new things. After all, Discovery and History channels are guilty of making money off aliens and ancient technology. But Mohan doesn't just turn simple stuff into exaggerated nonsense like, oh look, how can it be that this ancient human statue has also arms and legs?
This is exactly how a human knee would look. And look at the shin bone, how it protrudes.
It's a knee, Mohan. It's supposed to look like a knee. What he also does is he tries to explain everything scientifically and with evidence, which is awesome. If you know how scientific thinking works and know the actual science, my sponsor Brilliant.org can help you with that. You can learn how to scientific think by doing the scientific thinking through Brilliant's interactive lessons on scientific thinking, along with tons of science, math, and computing lessons. Follow my link or scan the QR code and start with a free 1-month trial. More at the end. Anyway, let's keep an open mind and watch one of his videos, which is about the new discovery of a temple in Indonesia.
Hey guys, archaeologists found an ancient wire in the Candi Kimpulan temple in Indonesia. Yes, this is the actual picture of that high-quality copper alloy wire, and initially they thought it was an ornamental ring.
I would think the same thing too, because I'm sure it's nothing else.
But upon closer examination, they were shell-shocked because it was not a ring. It was a wire, just like the electrical wires we use today.
Bold claims. Is that true?
The archaeology report published by the Indonesian government actually mentions the words wire made of copper alloy.
I found the test report. Wire. The word wire is repeated only once in this entire document, and there is no mention of electricity here. And wire is not only for electrical wire. Have you heard of barbed wires? Post-editing note. This is figure 24 from the actual report, and this is figure 24 Mohan is showing. And I can't find the image of that ring anywhere else on the internet. I have a feeling he created a fake figure 24 and that ring might be AI generated.
How long are we going to pretend that all these ancient objects are meaningless and were used for superstition?
What the f is this text here? I mean, here and here it shows 2 centimeters and all of a sudden this? Is this whole thing AI generated? Definitely looks like it. He speaks too slow. Let's speed it up.
What is more fascinating to me
is how they stored the wire. This is just like how we store the wires. We keep wires circled up.
Oh my god, he's right. We always store wires in a circle to save space. And we know that historically humans never stored anything else in a circle like a rope or a hose or a string.
All these objects start to look like parts of a complex machine. These thin metal plates look like fan blades of a modern rotor, right?
Exactly, how could I not see that? Or maybe they just look like flowers. I cut some of these artifacts out of paper, passed some wire through their center. Is this more likely or a computer fan?
Archaeologists found fragments of thin rectangular iron plates They called them iron spatulas in the archaeological report. Found more thin slivers of silver, but experts could not put them together.
And I suppose Mohan knows better than many experts. Perhaps he is well educated in the field of science and archaeology. Let's find out. In LinkedIn, he is the CEO of himself, no record of education. A Reddit AMA, what is your educational background? I will answer your questions someday. Some website. There is nothing about his education. It is safe to say he's not educated in science and technology. We can call him self-taught in archaeology at best.
They found something placed on a small pedestal. Yes, it is an earthen pot placed exactly under the spout of the base. This is not the norm in most ancient temples. You don't usually find this setup.
I mean, a bowl underwater is the most common thing I can think of.
But inside these pots, archaeologists found a strange organic material. It was rice husk.
What's rice husk? Rice hulls or husks are the hard protection covering of grains of rice. And one of the most strange ancient material. It's not strange at all and is probably a very common item considering the amount of rice that is consumed all over the continent of Asia.
Proves that they were doing something very strange.
I hate it when people use the word prove so loosely, as if it is impossible to poke a hole in that theory. Everyone in ancient times had rice husk because they had to clean their own rice.
In ancient times, rice husk was usually added to hold things firmly in place. It acted as a natural placeholder. It is soft and slimy when you first add water to it, but when you put an iron plate or a silver foil inside the pot, the husk will become rock hard.
What is this bullshit? Rice husk is basically wood. It hardly mixes with water, let alone becoming concrete with iron and silver. This is such a bull. Fine, I went and bought some rice husk from a local brewery. Apparently it has some use there. This is what it looks like. I grind some of it into a fine powder for best effect. Nice. Pour it in a fancy silver bowl for good measure. Like so. Add some water to the mix. See, the water is hardly mixing with this thing. I guess we try to mix. Doesn't want to mix with water. It's like trying to mix wood with water. What a mess. So we have a ton of silver and we place an iron blade into the rice husk. And now, as you can see, it's as solid as concrete. No difference. I'm sorry, but he was lying straight into our faces. He had this gooey mix right in front of him. What is the use of rice husk? Ash? Rice husk ash. Source of amorphous reactive silica. Rice concrete. To achieve the best pozzolanic properties, the combustion of the husk has to be carefully controlled. Also, they burn the husks below 700 degrees C, carbon formation at a given water-cement ratio, small amounts of rice hull ash, useful to improve workability of concrete mixes. Well, there you have it. It doesn't turn into concrete itself. They burn it, use the ash for concrete mix. It turns into concrete with iron and silver. Toothpaste, rice bran oil, brewing to increase lautering. What?
Fertilizer and substrate. Fireworks?
Fuel. Juice extraction. Head food fiber. Pillow stuffing. Insulating material. Particle boards and cardboard. Geopolymers.
But why would such a setup be needed at all? To generate electricity. Yes, this is exactly what they were doing here.
No. Making electricity is super easy, barely an inconvenience. I've said it before, every time you place two different metals like copper and steel in an electrolyte, which is simple stuff, any liquid with ions in it like orange juice, salt water, tea or whatever, you are creating a battery. See, I put the spoon in there and we are reading 0.16 volts, not much. And if you drop the metals in there like this, shorting the contacts, there will be some current running through the juice and metals that will cause some electrochemical reactions, likely ruining your juice. I'm sure ancient people were aware of these reactions, but they had no way to know it was electricity flowing and just blamed chemistry.
I'm going to fill the pot with husk. Here's a silver plate and here is a piece of iron. Let's check if we get electricity. But I'm shocked.
Shocked.
There is no electricity, right? Why? Because to get electricity, we need the power of the lingam. Without the lingam, we cannot create such power?
We need the power of lingam to create a battery. What is that power?
We have recreated this lingam as well. And let me place it in such a way that the spout is directly above the pot. So let's do that. Let me pour water on top of the lingam to unleash the power. And look, just like magic, we see electricity rising in the pot.
So, the power of lingam was flowing water into the bowl? You know, people can just pour water in the bowl.
What were they doing with this electricity? Today, most physiotherapists recommend a procedure called electrotherapy,
Who recommends that?
which sends low-volt electricity into your body. It heals many conditions. Wikipedia shows a dozen different conditions that can be treated.
Let's read the Wikipedia page. Medical uses: musculoskeletal conditions. Little to no evidence available to support electrotherapy for management of fibro whatever. Neck and back pain has limited effect on neck pain. Evidence for electrotherapy very limited. Shoulder disorders. Methodological problems preclude drawing conclusions. Other disorders. A review found that evidence is limited quality. Chronic pain. Supporting evidence absent or unclear. Chronic wounds. It was unclear whether electrotherapy increased healing. Mental health and mood disorders. Since 1950, over 150 published articles found positive outcome. I think that was the time when they electrocuted mentally ill people in their asylums. Clearly, it is a very questionable science which lacks solid evidence. Although you could use anything as placebo, but there are many more effective ways out there instead of electrocuting yourselves.
Physiotherapists confirm that it will heal you if you have repeated sessions of electrotherapy.
Let's read this article by Jason Bellefleur, who is a multi-award-winning physiotherapist. They assist in the recovery process, usually just to calm down some of the symptoms, especially in very acute situations. It doesn't heal, it assists by, say, reducing the feeling of pain by contracting your muscles, or perhaps an even bigger pain that makes you forget your original pain.
Today, what do devout Hindus do when they are mentally depressed or have a physical condition like chronic pain?
I guess they keep electrocuting themselves to get healed.
Is it possible that the ancient people of Indonesia were using electrotherapy?
No.
Believe it or not, something similar called the electric bath was
was it?
practiced about 250 years ago. And who popularized this therapy?
Who?
Benjamin Franklin, one of the founding fathers of the United States. This electric bath procedure was called Franklinization after Benjamin Franklin himself. A patient with depression or pain would sit under a shower and be delivered doses of electricity, and Ben Franklin noted that the patients got better after.
Or did he actually note that? Electric bath, electrotherapy. This was mainly at the hands of quacks and charlatans. The process of charging up a patient with static electricity was called Franklinization after Benjamin Franklin briefly experienced in this field. He attempted to treat a number of paralytics, first with electric shocks and then with static charging, but without much success. So Ben Franklin himself recognized that his procedures were useless and ineffective. What's wrong with their faces? Where do the arms of this lady disappearing to? What's up with the face? They are all AI generated. None of them are real. Was there anything real in his video? I feel I'm a bit dumber for watching this video. But why stop there? Let's get dumber watching another video.
What was hiding under this lingam at Chandi Kimpolan Temple? When archaeologists removed the cylinder, they found a stone object with 17 cavities. Inside these cavities, they had alternating plates made of gold and silver, making it look like the fan blades of a motor.
It just looks like a flower. Why do we have to compare it to something fancier that we use nowadays?
Experts dismiss it as a mere religious ritual.
Maybe you should listen to the experts, man.
But was there a scientific purpose behind it?
Didn't the experts say no?
And here we have a lingam. We have designed it to be removable. And underneath the lingam, we have recreated this stone plate with a large circular gold plate in the center. I've put some simple color foils for now, but what were they doing with these gold and silver plates? This is one plate of pure gold, and this is a plate of pure silver. We are just putting them one next to another in this pot. Will this also produce electricity?
Of course it will.
Pour water into it. We can actually see the voltage gain here. We can see electricity
60
being produced.
millivolts. Wow.
And using this electricity to run machines and devices, just like what we do today. No.
So he talked about all that electricity generation for nothing?
Ancient builders were making gold water and were using it for healing purposes.
What?
Let me explain. When we put gold and silver next to one another, very small atoms of gold are starting to detach from the gold plate.
What?
They are traveling in this water and are moving towards the silver plate.
That's not how any of this works. Gold is an inert metal and barely ever wants to mix with anything. Now suddenly dissolves in water, and you have to close the circuit for electrons to flow if you want any plating to happen. And silver being a more active metal, it will want to plate over gold, not the other way around. They use a similar technique to prevent iron from rusting. What was it called?
I'm Grady, and this is Practical Engineering. In today's episode, we're talking about cathodic protection for corrosion control. Corrosion is an electrochemical process. As the anode loses electrons, it corrodes.
Yeah, go watch Practical Engineering. This is one guy who knows what he's talking about. Thanks, Grady.
We can actually electroplate this piece of silver and make it look like gold.
That was fake! He shows silver plate in one clip and switches it to gold in the other clip. For gold plating, you need the positive terminal of an external DC power supply around 3 to 5 volts connected to gold. So that positive terminal sucks electrons from gold, disconnecting gold atoms and plating them over the metal on the negative terminal. In this case, gold is the electrical load in the system versus Mohan's setup where gold is the positive of the supply. Not only the voltage is very small, gold is the one sucking electrons from silver, disconnecting silver atoms. It's just misinforming.
Ancient builders were not trying to do gold plating or generate electricity.
He keeps spitting false information and then says it wasn't the purpose anyway.
They placed it under the lingam to make gold water.
What? Can you dissolve gold in water? The most useful for dissolving gold is aqua regia. What is aqua regia? A mixture of concentrated nitric and hydrochloric acid. Oh, so it's a drink and die potion. What is gold water?
As you can see, it really has gold flakes in it.
Seems the goal is to add undissolvable gold shavings into the water and drink it for benefits. Like Mr. Beast's gold-plated steak. These people are so rich, they eat gold.
We pour water on this lingam. The water hits the base. It goes into this pit and soaks into this secret stone plate, and tiny particles of gold will detach and try to swim towards the silver.
No, they don't.
But why did ancient builders need gold water? Even today, Hindus use a silver cup, put a gold coin into it, pour hot water, and after a few minutes, they drink this water.
Gold is an inert metal, right? You just poop it out. Does eating gold have any benefits? According to Kolikov, Caviar and Gourmet, although eating gold may not have any detrimental effects on your health, thank God, it also doesn't have any nutritional benefits. Gold is a biologically inert metal, which means that it will not even be absorbed by your digestive tract. Any medical benefits? There remains no substantial proof. Beautifying benefits? Simply a marketing ploy.
Imagine drinking this gold water every day. By the way, don't try this at home. Please don't try to make your own gold water.
Now he's scared. Please don't do it at home because it's not real.
I hope you will agree with me that this was a place where great healings were performed.
No, I won't. I couldn't find a single technical video of his where he doesn't spit out some technological misinformation. Likely because he doesn't know how things work. And sometimes he cares more about views than the obvious truth. But where he just shows ancient artifacts and places and talks about cultural meanings and stories behind them, that's fine and good. It gets people inspired and excited to see those places. Although, considering the quality of provided information, I would take anything from him with a grain of salt and a load of rice husks. But you can be confident the information you get from my sponsor Brilliant.org is solid. Really, it's the best place I know online to learn or refresh your knowledge on tons of topics from math and data analysis to programming and artificial intelligence through thousands of interactive lessons. And interactivity is the best way to learn. I never had enough memory to remember all the methods and equations teachers tried to feed me, so I always learned by solving my own problems. And that's how Brilliant teaches, by having you do hands-on problem solving. So instead of memorizing, you learn to think and become a skilled problem solver. Every time you forget something, you retrace your steps and arrive at what you need. And soon you realize, by taking a new habit of learning at your own convenience for a few minutes every day at Brilliant, you are becoming such a big brain. Like I mentioned, I love the scientific thinking course that everyone needs to take to just think better. Then it takes you on an interactive tour and teaches you many principles of science so you can think with proper scientific input. You can try all these and more for free with Brilliant's 30-day free trial, visiting my link brilliant.org/electroboom or scanning the QR code. And after falling in love with learning, you get 20% off for life on your annual premium subscription. Do it! And thank you for watching.